It's Thursday afternoon, and as you can hear from the echo, there's hardly anyone in the building. It's quite eerie. It's got a sense of loneliness. It feels very odd. Even the radios are quiet. Hi, this is Gum. As my role of museum manager, I'm used to always seeing visitors and a thriving space. I'm currently sitting in the round room at Birmingham Museum and Art Gallery, which is the 1885 side of the building. And it's a circular room that is usually filled with visitors. It's kind of like the soul of the museum to me. It's also a very impressive space when you walk into the space. It's very grand, but it's still got a warm feeling. It's not intimidating. So I also like to see the movement of people in this space because people will go to different paintings in the round room. So if you like your landscapes, there's a space where you can look at forces of nature. There's a people and places section. There's an imagining the past section where one of my favourite paintings sits. But it's mostly people in paintings looking out at you. I suppose at the moment, the collections themselves are the guardians of the building when we're not here. Audience in Athens is a painting that always stands out to me, as it's one of the paintings I always look to when I come in to the museum in the morning before any members of the public have come in. They're all sitting in a circular kind of stand. I always feel that they're always kind of judging or waiting and watching, because there's so much that happens in this space, and they're kind of our audience as well as we are theirs. Lucifer, our fallen angel, stands in the middle of the round room as a welcome, with his glorious wings, which are brightly lit by natural light. It's a very dark space in some ways, but I do take a moment to always look up. And as you look up, there's a glass ceiling, which does have natural daylight coming through. There's a beautiful tiled floor, which can be taken for granted as you walk across it every day. But when you're sitting in a space and you have that role of caring in your title, it's a floor that I'm always looking at to make sure small tiles are not missing, because it really adds to the atmosphere. In this space as well, there's also like a familiar smell, kind of museum smell. That's the only way I can put it. Actually, that's probably something that we could bottle up and sell. But there's definitely that air of familiarity. It is like a second home. I've always tried to get mum and dad to visit. They're quite picky about what they're going to do with their leisure time. So it was quite funny that the only actual project that they've come to visit in my workspace here was when Dippy was on tour, and that's probably because I forced them. But that's a real fond memory that I have of them visiting Birmingham Museum. And they actually came and waited till the last day, which is just quite typical of my parents, actually. When I'm doing my site walks and checks, memories pop back, and it's quite a nice reminder because they're all positive memories. I actually took a picture today when I was walking around because there was an office that I actually started my traineeship in back in 2001, and it's a beautiful wood panelled office. It makes you think of all your colleagues who are currently not at work with you. There's not that sense of coming together in the same way. During this lock stage, there is that sense of looking more around you and looking at the space, especially when you're doing more site checks. And also you don't get the opportunity to have the building to yourself in this same way. The light levels have just gone down, and it's just really interesting to have seen the collection's colour change. I don't think I've ever sat here this long in my day-to-day job to see that change, and it's half come back and it's just shone some light on some of the collections. It's like one of those movie scenes where you see the light just flow through and the whole atmosphere of the room change. Yeah, it just fills you with joy.